Hey, well, good afternoon. Welcome to the bench. We're going to get started right out of the gate on this thing, and we're going to get this thing set up very quickly. And I want to compliment the owner of this instrument. The gentleman has taken very good care of this thing, and he takes very good care of all of his instruments. But when he brings them into me, they look like this. And it's really nice to see someone that takes such care of their guitars, because this guy plays live a lot, and you want to go out on stage, if you're playing in a cover band or something like that. It's induces a lot of tips to have a good clean instrument. So this thing, we're going to throw a set of Ernie Ball Slinky 9s on this. We're going to do a full setup. This is a brand spanking new guitar, and I can see a couple of issues with it right out of the gate. The bridge is dropped down almost to the bottom of its extension point, so I don't know how low I'm going to be able to get this action for him. The problem with that is that the neck angle is incorrect to raise this bridge up. It's literally 3/4 to maybe 98% of this bridge is useless, because the neck is tilted up instead of down. I think I can get the string action. I think I can get the string action as low as he'd like it, but I may run out of adjustability with the saddle. So we shall see, or the bridge and saddle. So we shall see about that. And I can also see that the first fret action on this is way too high. I've kind of looked it over real quick. I haven't made any adjustments to the instrument at all. We're going to start fresh and remove the strings off of this thing. We're going to put a set of Ernie Ball Super Slinkies on this instrument today, and it's just so cool that the guy, and my compliments, John, on your care for your instruments, man. These things really, your instruments are always really tidy. It's nice for me. I don't have to spend a half an hour cleaning a guitar before I work on it. So that's awesome. Kind of get you pointed up here in the right direction. You'll notice I have an acoustic guitar over in this area of the movie, and it is one that I replaced the fingerboard on. And I'm sorry if you couldn't hear me. I have an acoustic guitar over here that I replaced the fingerboard on approximately, it's been almost 3 weeks ago. And the delay in that is when you remove a fingerboard off of a guitar, you have to do finish repair. And if you've ever shot lacquer, you know that it takes a long time for that stuff to cure. So it's been sitting for 2 weeks, and over here in my favorite Oregon mug, I have wet dry sandpaper soaking to do the sanding process on that. I don't know how quickly I'm going to get to wet sanding on that instrument, but don't tie your strings in knots, by the way. Don't bend your strings over. That's if you broke one of these strings at a gig, John, you would regret having to change it, because I can't get this string out of here. So luckily I'm doing it here at my bench versus doing it at a gig. Tying your strings in knots, and I've heard all these stories about the luthier knot and all that stuff. That's complete utter bull. There's absolutely no reason to make pulling the strings off of an instrument more difficult. These all have a little L-shaped bend on them, and useless. All you're doing with that is potentially weakening the string that you're bending it around, and potentially causing a string to break prematurely. I don't care what kind of a psychological issue you have with that. You're just making things more difficult. And you can see, if unfortunately, if he was at a gig and broke a string right now, he probably wouldn't have a pair of these or any tools with him at all to be able to do what I'm doing. And it's absolutely, utterly useless. That little move, all it does is make strings harder to change. That's all it does. It benefits you in no way. And I say that on almost every single video I do. So hopefully that has sunk in for a few of you. Tying knots, bending your strings over, doing no good at all. Absolutely zero benefit in that whatsoever. So just don't do it. The frets are in really good shape on this instrument. So we're going to call that good. I'm not going to mess with the fingerboard. It looks like he treated it recently, so we'll call that good. It looks fantastic. A little bit of guck here on the pickups, but outside of that, this thing is really in really good shape. Looks fantastic. It's clean, it's nice and shiny, all the hardware. I'm convinced that John, right before he brings his guitars in, he gives them a good cleaning. Which is awesome, and I really appreciate that. I don't have to spend a bunch of time cleaning a guitar, which saves you money and saves me time. Alright. Let's some guck here on the bridge. We'll get that. Alright. Boy, this thing is spotless. Alright, so first things first, I'm going to take a look at the fingerboard. See what neck scale we got. 25.5. And we got a lot of relief in this with no strings on it. So I'm going to go ahead and flatten the neck out by tightening the truss rod. I'm going to give it a couple little turns here. And we'll see where we're at now. Looking really good and flat. Looking really good and flat. I like to start out with a flat fingerboard. I'd rather start flat and let the strings do their job in creating neck relief, which is vital. So we've gotten that taken care of. I want to check the knobs on this bad boy. Seems like I did play the guitar a little bit this morning to test an amplifier. And the knobs are working great. We were testing that little tiny Terror over there. Sounds great. Those are cool little amplifiers. And they're loud, shockingly loud. I think they're 18 or 20 watts, something like that, with a tube preamp in them. They're really killer. Hello to everyone. Yes, this is a 24 fret instrument. Very beautiful. Look at this top wood. Isn't that gorgeous? Probably laminated, but let's go ahead and put some 9 to 42s on here. That's the gauge string that the owner wants, and he wants a super low playing action. It does have a piezo in the bridge, so he can get those emulated acoustic guitar sounds, which is cool. And I believe one of these switches over here, piezo on or piezo off, whatever combination of the piezo and pickups, there's different combinations of controls on that. So that's kind of a cool function that he's got on this guitar. And we'll go for a real quick string change here. And just gonna keep plugging away. Is that an E? It's probably pretty darn close. I'm guessing my ear is still working okay. Here we go. 1, 2. Oh, and I got a minute here I can take to do a little. That's pretty close to an A. Hey Kevin, what's happening, brother? I want to do something real quick. You guys, give me a moment here. Let me go to my, let's see, I want to go to this, we'll mute this, yeah, I want to share this on some other social media networks. Let me do a little quick message here to my friends. Hey. There we go. All right. So something I did the other day. I went and watched a live band play, and I've been making a habit of doing this. And that is when I go to see a live band play. I put a set of guitar strings or two in my pocket. Take them to the show, and hopefully the gift that I left for those boys saves their asses one of these days. I watched a really great band play here in our little town. They were from Normandy, France, which my dad just visited Normandy to see the final resting place of my Uncle Don, and it took a lot of pictures. Normandy looks like a really beautiful place. So it's kind of cool that they were from there and that my dad had just visited their home. So who knows, my dad might have met them, which is kind of cool. Probably not, but the possibilities are endless, right? Never cut your strings off before you're done changing. Before you're done, it's the last thing you should ever do when you're setting up your instrument or working on a guitar. Never cut those ends off. You'll regret it, I promise. The one time you do it, you'll have to pull the strings back off the instrument. Especially if your name is Marshall. I hope everybody's having a really wonderful Tuesday. I had a awesome doctor's appointment this morning. Moving forward with getting me an insulin pump to help manage my disease a little better. I am a type 1 diabetic, and I'm not afraid to admit it. I've been a diabetic since I was 11 years old. I was born with the disease. It wasn't because I ate too much or drank too much or ate a bunch of sugar. No, I was just born with a bad pancreas. It worked for a few years, but it gave up when I was 11. So I'm going to look into, I'm going to get me an insulin pump, a next step in the right direction, I believe. I don't really need one, but I feel like it might make an improvement in the control of the disease, because just like drug addiction or alcoholism, you have to control the disease or it controls you. Diabetes is no different. Cut all processed sugar out of your diet, low carbs. We'll get them tuned up. Live my diabetic speech for the day. What is rattling? Huh. That's an interesting guy. I don't know if you can hear that. Oh. That's what it is. Look at that. I found it. I got to keep Cheryl Crow out of the video. We got a loose. There's a rattle. So let's fix that real quick while we're here. Grab my Phillips screwdriver. Let's use a proper size screwdriver for this proper size screws. Just like working on a car, right? Never use the wrong size wrench. Cinch that up, and we'll check this back one. Oh, and it's loose also, so. And the screw is stripped, so we'll fix that. And this is why I never give anybody a quote on how much it costs to do a setup. And sorry, you're right in my face here, because we run into stuff like this. And again, this is a brand new guitar, so this was likely done at the factory, is my guess. It was built on a Friday probably, so a nice long screw, but the hole's definitely stripped out. And I'm gonna go ahead and go with the old toothpick trick. I'm a poet and didn't know it. Let's see if I can get 3 of these guys in here. Oh yeah, we'll be able to do that. Let me get my hammer. You get into setting up a guitar for clients and things like that. You run into this sort of stuff, and a lot of guys might have missed that. Can't say for sure, but I'm gonna put these 3 together. Let me get you pointed down here. I'm going to turn some more light on. We'll get this pointed down here. We'll go ahead and put an excess amount of glue on these. Way too much, which is always perfect. Super glue will certainly go first on your fingers and then where you want it. That's just the rule of super glue. It sticks to your fingers better than anything else, and it never goes right where you want it until this moment. This is like there's a first time for everything, you know. Whoop. And we got a little drop of glue coming off the back of this, which is handy to keep a nice towel. And I do have super glue remover, so we'll be able to clean that off here in just a moment. There we go. Whoop. There it is. Look at that mess I made. Well, let's fix that. This stuff, if you're working with super glue, is real handy to keep around. I'm gonna go grab a kickstand for this guitar so I can stand it up on its side. Give me a moment. I will be right back. Yeah, just like motorcycles, sometimes a guitar needs a good kickstand. Alright, unless we use this. And we'll be real careful not to scratch the finish on this thing, or touch it for that matter. And we're going to do a little test spot here. I'm going to grab a, whoop, there we go. Nice. It's coming right off just like it's supposed to. Let me get you pointed at the action here. My camera guy, he likes to drink a lot, so you'll have to bear with me. And my camera guy, he drinks way too much. My policy, when I'm asked, well, how much is it going to cost? I will give an estimate in most cases, and that's it. I can't tell somebody how much it's going to cost, because once I get into working on an instrument, we often run into stuff like this, and it takes time, right? And that's why these guys have me work on their instruments, because they know I'll find every little last detail on these things. And the guitars that I send home don't come back unless the string action's too low. So that's not necessarily a bad thing for most guys. Go. Got to be real careful with this CA glue cleaner. This stuff can, in some cases, damage the finish on an instrument. So, like I did a really tiny little test spot here just to make sure it didn't eat up the finish on this thing, and it certainly didn't. I'm going to put some, hit this with some accelerator. Oops, that's not accelerator. Oh, there's my accelerator. Hit this with some accelerator. That just quickens the process of the super glue, or CA glue. Super glue is a brand. It's not an Allen key, it's a hex key. An Allen key is a brand, right? Speeds that process up a little bit. Take my handy dandy fret pulling tool, and we'll cut a little bit off of here. All right. And then we'll cut that off flush, and then we'll drill a hole right down the center of that. Where's my drill bits? You got to do stuff right, man. Do stuff right. Use the right size drill bit, all that. Let's check our size here. That is a perfect size. And of course, it's a 1/8 inch drill bit. These are the. I'll break one of these faster than a what? A one-legged man in a butt kicking contest. There we go. Handy to have a little kickstand. You see what I've done here? So the guitar stands up so I can work on it. Alright. That's just how we roll. And now, when I get this strap button tight, whatever you want to call it, it won't come back out of there. There we go. Boom. Rattle gone, right? Both rattles gone. There we go. Alright. Put my drill bit away and get back to the business of setting this thing up right. So we've solved a couple problems already. Right? That's what we do. This guy's gonna love this guitar, and it is really a beautiful instrument. Just gorgeous. Okay, so let's go ahead and we'll get the string. We'll stretch them just a bit here. We'll give them a little bit of a stretch. You gotta have tough fingers to do this shit. I mean, you gotta get serious when you're stretching these strings. Get serious. Why hand a guitar back to somebody with the strings not fully stretched? it's happened to me. I paid to have a string change done. Got home and had to do this. That happened at Guitar Center, in fact. And I know that their policy is to stretch the strings, but mine was done on a Friday. I currently do not have Fridays. We're still, let's see, we're 4 weeks, almost 5 full weeks without one of our guys. He's healing up from pretty intrusive surgery. So we all wish him the best of luck and to heal up quickly so that I can take a day off. That would be awesome. I'm probably going to take this weekend off regardless. I need a day off, man. I did get Wednesday off last week, but Wednesdays I only have about a half day off because I did guitar students that night. So, all right, so we got this thing all dialed in.
Let's order some food.
Oh,
I'll
food?
just walk around the corner.
Perfect.
You're okay?
Right.
Do you need anything?
I'm just fine. Thank you, Mike. Okay, so let's check the neck relief. We're gonna go for 12 thousandths. I'll probably go for a little less than that on this guitar, but let's see where she's at. Remember that I set this neck completely flat when I started, and I've got some contact with my feeler gauge right now, so I'm feeling pretty good about that. And the neck relief will increase over time, given the fact that I took the strings off of this. So we'll check that again here in a few minutes. And then we want to check our string action here. And in doing that, flattening the fingerboard out, now we've got 4/64ths and 3/64ths. 3.5 64ths. So just my little motion of with the strings off the instrument and flattening the fingerboard, then putting the strings on the guitar, which creates the neck relief all on its own. The guitar is actually set up pretty nicely right now. So with it like this, although it'll be the last thing I do, I am going to lower the pickups ever so slightly. They are way, way, way too close. And we'll measure it. There we go. Let's just see where they are right now. So this should be 4/32, and it's 2/32. So I'm going to go ahead and drop these down because I am going to plug the guitar in and play it a little bit to check the electronics. At this point, we're still, and the string action may still change, so usually the pickup height is the last thing I do, but on this one, because it's so close, I don't want it creating problems. They're not touching, but boy, they're close. And if that was done at the factory, Schecter, you should be ashamed of yourselves. That's way too close. This client of mine knows better than to put pickups that close to the strings due to the loss of sustain because the magnet's grabbing these strings. These are twice as close in distance than they need to be. So as you can see, I'm dropping these pickups down quite a good distance here. They were that much too close. So now we've got that all dialed in. So we're just kind of doing a preemptive strike on this. I'm going to go ahead and play the instrument for just a few minutes. I'm going to go ahead and stretch these strings a little bit more. Nothing worse than picking up a guitar after the brand new set of strings and got to tune it because the strings weren't stretched proper. The gentleman who owns this instrument, I've seen him play many times live. Plays in a band here in our town of La Grande. They do cover tunes, classic rock primarily. Sounds like it's in tune. Let's plug this thing in and see what she sounds like. See what all the electronical equipment does on this thing. Doggone it, it's just my job sucks. I had to get paid to play a guitar. That's just terrible. It's so sad. And then I get to go home and do it all over again. Have students this evening, that should be fun. Got a young man who's learning to play and sing. Oh, my camera guy got his cable just totally tangled up, and what a mess. All right, good job. And my camera guy, man, he's a pain sometimes. Oscar, appreciate you hanging out with me, and I'm not looking at the chat today. Forgive me, I'm actually working. Ooh, that sounds nice. Right out of the gate. So, piezo off. So the piezo's on in that position. That's the neck pickup. Got to figure out how these electronics work. This is interesting. How this is going here. So piezo off. Okay. Okay, so I'm not 100% how both three-way switches. To see if we have any pull pots. No pull pots. So that's the piezo and the bridge. So the pickup selector working, and then if we go up, I'm not quite sure what the deal with Okay, so that's piezo by itself, piezo with a combination of the pickups, and piezo off. So that's interesting. Does the piezo have a volume control? It does. So it also switches the volume control here to the piezo pickup itself. So zero issues on the electronics on this thing. Piezo pickups, tone control for the pickups, probably a tone control. So this is nothing like a Les Paul, not in any way. Cool electronics in this thing. Way more than I would ever want to have on one of my own guitars. I'm old school, I like the simple controls. I get totally confused by this. But at least I know what they do. So let's put it through some paces. Just play it a little bit and see how she feels. What did I do? Did I just unplug a cable? Did I break my foot control? See, I'm using these really cheap little cables that we get sometimes. Ooh, okay.
That's a nice sound.
God, yeah, beautiful guitar.
Yeah, it's a beautiful guitar. It is.
What's that?
Sure.
Tuner. Oh, your Epiphone.
Okay, I'll have to, if possible, I'm gonna have to pay you in last 2 seconds.
That's
Take
all right.
that. Good.
And that's good. Don't even worry about that. Don't ever worry about that. That's why we're still in business.
Yeah.
He's one of the smartest men. We
Yeah,
all
no, I
owe
know-
the
I know
English
him- I know him
language
quite
to
well.
him.
He just, they got his ass because he was gay.
Yeah,
Fuck with him.
yeah.
Yeah.
Killed him.
Yeah, well, yeah.
Murdered him.
It does.
Yeah. They murdered him. He was one of the smartest men in the history of our Alright. This thing, let's see. So I wrote down everything that I've done on this thing. We switched them up to 11 gauge strings. Put an extra set in the case. So grade 1, you got an extra set. Did a neck treatment, cut polish. Adjusted the nut action, first fret action, get that proper. String action and intonation. We're almost out of room on this one. Yeah. Those saddles only move so far.
Yeah, I saw the
Video. Okay, good. Yeah,
I had a camera. I wouldn't have done
it was right on the edge, and I was like, close enough. And there's a little bit more room, so if it does end up needing that extra little nudge, what we have to do is pull that saddle up out of there and flip it around 180 degrees. I had to do that on lots of stuff.
Why?
Yeah, that's a great question. And it has to do with when you change the string gauge, the saddles have to move. You have to re-intonate. And so it's right on the edge. If you were to put a set of 12s on here, at that point you're probably going to run out of like perfect intonation. But this thing is intonated.
I'm willing to pay half now.
Okay.
For this.
That's great.
That's a big deal.
And we'll just keep this tag here
Yeah.
behind the counter.
It'll take. I just need the first clip.
Okay, I understand. Michael, come kick the door in.
No, no.
The grand story.
I want him to hurt his feet.
Nope. He's with the customer. Can I take a message?
Alright, $40 today.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, that's good.
Oh, you want a PIN number from you on that one?
Yeah, just give me the
That is beautiful.
five pennies.
What? Aside from its shiny black,
Yeah, I know you don't like that.
I'm not a fan. But
I might have got
that's
it.
just me having to work on them all the
Yeah.
time and touch them when they get feeling good. Oh, you said decline.
Oh no, come on. It's
What account? Got it.
it didn't. Yeah.
Sale.
Yeah. It didn't. When I was registered, it didn't take a storage or anything.
Oh.
So that's.
Oops. Now I gotta put the card in here. Might have missed the.
Okay, so you're not starting.
Yeah.
Okay. You need me for what?
4 digits.
Oh no.
You might have pushed the wrong number again. It looked like you hit the five button, but I got that.
Okay, let's see what we got. So.
That's fine.
Jeez. Jeez, Philip.
Okay. Well, I'll see what I will.
Insert card.
Okay, baby. I'm sorry.
That's nice.
Yeah.
Is that for me?
Oh, yes. I think it was the guy, the older guy from the small.
Oh.
I told him to call you back tomorrow. I don't know.
Okay.
No, it should be. There's one over there.
Okay. Well, we'll try it one more time.
Yeah, well,
What's,
this is embarrassing for me.
well,
I mean, just, okay, does it say,
credit.
oh, no, it doesn't have a,
There's no other options on this
so
aside from
just
credit.
credit?
Yeah, because that way you have your signature when you put your PIN number in.
Okay, right.
I can't make it a debit, so
Okay. But,
I'll let you do that.
okay, I got it. Okay. Next one. Okay. I'll bring you cash.
Okay.
I'll bring you cash. Crazy.
Yep, that's right.
It's getting autism or
Yeah. That's all right. We ain't going anywhere.
yeah, I love my guitar too.
Yeah, I understand.
Okay, I'll be back.
Okay.
Mm.
All right, man. Thank you. All right. Huh. I hope that guy just called to say he got his thing hooked up.
His card got rejected.
What's that?
His card got rejected.
Yeah. Gotta get back to it. Okay. Woohoo! All right. Epiphone Sheridan going home today. That's cool. Sorry about the view. My camera guy's sleeping on the job. My knees hurt. Hello. Charlie. Hello. Zach. Hello. Hugh. Hello. Everybody. Hope you're all doing good. I got to take a break here every once in a while. Chad. Hello. There we go. Let's see. Boy, I'm farting just reading that message, bro. Jesus. Okay, so let's check our, let's double check our neck relief. We'll see how our neck relief is holding up. and kind of half expecting it to, I'm going to unplug the instrument, half expecting it to change, and the other half is thinking it might just stay the same. We'll find out. Boy, I'll tell you what, man, that is right where I would like it. So I might be out of work on this one. Let's check the string action one more time. We're going to check it at the 12th fret. And boy, that's 4.5 64ths, and that's about 4. And I'm going to go for a little lower on this side. Now what I'm hoping, yep, I'm able to move it. Usually you can lower the action, but I'm running out of room on these adjustments. They are almost bottomed out, and that's really too bad. Brand new guitar like that. In fact, this one is bottomed out, and I can't get the action down where I want. And these are piezo pickups in the bridge, so well, this guitar has been pushed to its limit. And again, the reason that these are bottomed out when the string action isn't as low as I could make it is because the neck angle is incorrect. And that is the construction of the guitar. And I will discuss with the owner of this, if the guitar is new enough to return it, that would be, I would do that immediately. But I don't know how old or new the instrument is, but we'll see. He may just love it, and we might be good enough. I don't know. So there's that, and we're just about out of stuff to do on this thing. Aside from I made one small adjustment to the pickup height, so the string height, so we will make sure the pickup height is absolutely correct. We've got proper neck relief. Boy, this is not so bad. It's more of a string change than anything, which is nice. Alright, got the truss rod cover back on her. It just looks beautiful. I might just have to call him and say, hey, come try this thing out. You know, fretwork is really nice on this one. They did a good job on their fretwork. Thank you, Schecter. Most guitars I have to take sharp frets off of the edges of the fingerboard because fretwork is just so difficult, and it's what costs them money when they build a guitar, so they cut there instead of focusing on that and selling a really good product. So okay, and that piezo, I'm just kind of looking underneath the bridge here to make sure that piezo is mounted in there correctly, and it all looks nice and solid. And I do want to look at one other thing that I'm not a fan of, and that is, they are making contact. I do like to have these bottomed out, but when the strings are making contact, you're asking for broken strings right there. So let's make a little adjustment to that. We'll have to retune it. I'm just going to bring this up high enough that ooh, and this has set screws, and I don't want to turn that.
It's a lady who picked up her turntable this morning.
Oh, okay. Hi, this is Marshall. Hello. Yeah. Hi. Okay. The turntable does. Well, the only light that I know of is the one that I replaced, and it's the I'm not sure if that's what you're talking about. I don't know if anything else is supposed to light up on there. I didn't see any other lights. Uh-huh. Yes. Well, that's that's a that's a pitch correct light. And when you turn the table on, all you're going to see is an orange line on the side of the turntable where all those slots are. There's black and silver. And when you've got it set to 33 RPMs, if you turn that pitch control to the on the 33 knob, the light those lines will either blur or they'll get solid. And when they're solid, that tells you that your turntable is spinning at 33 RPM. That light is not meant to illuminate the no, no. That the old light may have been brighter than this new one, and I can't testify to that because I didn't see the old one. It was burned out when it got here. So but this bulb was built, that bulb was the one bulb I could find that was designed for that turntable that would fit in that thing. So all that's there to do. And the other thing is that if you were seeing such a bright light, that light, I don't know how long, because usually they're not very bright. They're very dim in most cases. Yeah. Yeah. No, no, no. That little, where those pitch control knobs are, you can see them as 45 and 33. Are you standing in front of the record player right now? Okay. Yeah, I understood. Yeah. And there's just a dimly lit orange light in there when the plate starts spinning. You should be able to move the needle or the arm over a little bit and the plate will spin. And you'll see that the edge of that plate has notches in it, and that's all that light is there to illuminate, and they're usually very dim. So if you're in a what much bright, yeah. Well, and it might be what we are unfortunately stuck with having to live with now is that the lights are different. That's an LED light, and the old light may have been a neon bulb. I don't know because it was broken. I couldn't tell you what it looked like before, and I didn't ever see it. But the new, yeah, I think that all you're experiencing is just that it's dimmer. But that is how you get your turntable to spin at the proper tempo. That's all that light's there for. That way your record's not playing at really slow tempo or too fast, so you're hearing the music as it was recorded, not out of pitch. That's all that's there for. Does that make sense? Okay, good. So when you turn the turntable on, you see that orange light illuminating a line on there. And if you turn whatever speed you have it set at, if you've got it set to 33 RPMs, spinning it, or the button that you can turn that knob, and you'll notice that one of those lines starts to move. Like one of them will be completely blurry or not even, but you'll see individual dots ultimately, or rectangles. You seeing how that's working? Okay. I under, yeah. I understand. Yeah. Yeah, and that's the bulb that is made for that record player, and it seemed to work. I mean, when I used it this morning, it worked just fine, or yesterday I think it was. So, yeah. Well, yeah, well, yeah. Well, I'll tell you, the bulb that was in there was I'm guessing it was a lot bigger than the bulb that I was able to replace it with. There's a specific voltage that bulb is set to operate at. And again, this isn't 1970 whatever 4 maybe anymore. So we're stuck with technology the way it is, and it's doing its job. It just may not. Yeah, yeah. Well, I'll tell you what. We do have some really cool lights here at the shop. If you want to decorate. We could decorate that turntable for you. They flash and do all kinds of cool stuff. Oh, okay. I'm not even gonna go there. All right. Have I? All right. You're very welcome. Thanks for calling. I appreciate you. All righty. Bye. Okay. Let me. I got another Angel. Let's see. What was his name? Let me see. No. Here we are, customer service. I love it. She thought that the light on her turntable, the pitch control, was supposed to like light up her record player like a decorative light. Like no. Let me. What's his name? Oh gosh, darn it! I'm communicating while I'm live streaming. Here. Oh, yeah. Let's see if I can call this guy. Come on. Contacts. I got his number. Where are you? All the stuff we go through. Here we go. I'm gonna call him. I had a gentleman call me here a little bit ago. I helped him with his record player this morning, also, or VCR. He's playing video cassette recorder. The real deal. Hey, Dick, this is Marshall, the Grand Stereo. Hey. Okay. 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 Uh-huh. Okay. Yes. I mean, what you may end up needing to do is to just test each input, because have your VCR turned on, I would put a tape in it and push play, or DVD player or whatever. Okay. It's okay if it's a CD, you need to have a DVD in there, not a CD. A CD's not going to put any picture on your television set. Yeah, or if you have an old VHS tape laying around. There you go. Throw one of those in there, because you're not going to see anything on that television set with a CD in there. I promise you that. Yeah. Okay. Okay. Do you remember what the input, when you plug that yellow RCA cable into the back of the television set, do you remember what that input was labeled as?
I'm not sure where he is right now.
Okay.
What's your name, man?
Tell me what it says.
Casey?
Yes.
What's the first name?
There's a yellow, a red, and a white cable on the back of that where you should have plugged all three of those RCA cables from the VCR.
Are you still there?
Okay. Tell me what that input is labeled as. Video. Okay. Audio. That's your right and left audio. Your red and white are both audio cables. And that's just called above it. I'm not talking about the yellow post itself. I want to know what that whole input is called, because that's one input for your television set. Yeah, it should be called Video 1 or okay. Okay. Yeah. Okay. And above, there's no other indicator on that stamped in that plastic that says Video 1, or there aren't some letters or something telling you what those inputs are. Okay. Okay. Huh. Okay. Well, so now what I need you to do, I want you to look at your remote control. Go back to the front of your television set. And I want you to look at your remote control for the TV, not for the VCR. And tell me if there's a button on that anywhere that says input. It's labeled input. Do you see? Or it may also say source. Okay. Nothing. Okay. TV input. Push that button and tell me what you see on the screen. Okay. Okay. Oh no. Just go back to and go to the VCR and push and select that input. Uh-huh. Okay. Huh. I'm not quite sure what you're seeing. That should just change the input on your television set. That TV might be far more complicated than what I was expecting. Because you're rattling off a bunch of stuff that when you select that, the input's been titled VCR because that's where your VCR was plugged into. And when you select that and you hit enter or select or whatever on your remote control, you should immediately on your television see whatever video your VCR is putting out. But you have to have video playing in it. Otherwise, you'll probably get a black screen or I don't know what kind of display it'll show you.
Okay, it's a lady. Her name's Christy. She has a TV she needs set up, not mounted. Has a DVD player, and like an Echo Dot, which I think is probably something like a Fire Stick or something like that.
Okay.
Okay.
Hmm.
Sounds like that's not
Okay. Well, I am not sure. I thought I would be able to walk you through this on the phone, but given what you're telling me, there's something else going wrong. And we talked a little bit about technology, and I'm almost certain that it's user error, which is what we call it these days when you make a mistake. But I don't expect you to know how to do this stuff either, Dick. So I think, in fact, I'm pretty certain that the only way I'm going to be able to help you is to get a technician out there to make sure. Yeah, where are you located? You're in Union. Okay. Boy, it's going to be a bit before I'm going to be able to get out there and do anything for you. And I'm typically, I mean, I've got months worth of guitars to work on here. It's something that's not something that I typically do here at the shop. We have a technician that goes out and helps folks with this sort of stuff. Yes. Oh, okay. Okay. Well, okay. Well, let me make arrangements to get out to your place. But it is likely it's gonna take me some time to be able to get out there. And I hate to tell you that, but I'm buried. And there's two of us that work here at this point. So we're kind of pulling teeth at this point, unfortunately. I hate to tell you that, but I kind of have to. Let me see. Let me see what I can do to get out there, because I'm sure that it's just a matter of telling that television to see the right source. And I'm not quite sure why that's not showing up. It should do exactly what you're telling it. Because we hooked it up to this television set, literally. I showed you yesterday, and it worked. That thing worked perfectly. And we ran a VHS tape through it and a DVD, and they both played and sounded great. So there's something going on at your home. I'm not sure what. Uh-huh. Uh-huh. Well, it's not though. It's plugged into the video input on your television set. I wonder if that's not an input. There's no way that's not an input. Although the fact that it has that yellow wire on it means the television's fairly old. So, I mean, it's probably over 10 years old, is what I would guess. Yeah. Oh, really? Okay. Huh. I'm dumbfounded at that. That's weird because usually modern televisions would not have that type of input. So, anyway, okay, I understand. And you're not able to just go to what it says VCR and just hit enter and tell your television to use that input. It's telling you that when you go to VCR, it's telling you that that's using the HDMI. I'm totally dumbfounded at what's going on with that. That's just odd. I don't know. Uh-huh. You can play your computer through. If you select VCR, your computer screen shows up on your television. Okay. So the VCR is not the right input. So what other inputs? That input label is incorrect. And again, that's been changed at some point during the life of the television set, probably. What other, where it says VCR, are there a list of other inputs on that? Select, okay, here's what I want you to do. Let's start at the top of that list. Select the very top thing and tell me what you see on the screen. It's sideways. Oh boy. Okay. 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 Okay, what I want you to do, you push the settings button to see that menu. Am I correct? Exit that menu. Oh, home. Okay, exit that menu. And there's a button on your remote control that says television source, correct? Or television input? Yes. Okay. 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 That sounds like it's got a TV, like a play and pause and such on it. Okay, Dick, I can tell you that I feel like I'm spinning my wheels here trying to help you over the phone. So yeah, and I'm sorry that I can't solve this over the phone, but I've got to get my hands on it because I can't understand everything. I can't see anything. Okay, yeah. All right. Let me see. Let me have your last name. Uh-huh. Okay. And I've got your phone number. What's your home address out there? Uh, was that the number was 1033? Okay. And the street name? Okay. All right. And that's in Union. Okay. 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 Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Okay. All right. Yeah, I've been out driven around Union. I think I've been on every street in that town. It's not hard to do. All right. Well, let me get back in touch with you and see if I can set up a time where I can get out there. Um, yeah, I'm sure it's probably going to be a pretty easily solvable problem, but at this point, I'm not able to do it over the phone. I'm sorry. Yeah. Okay. Hey, all right. I've given it my best. I'm sure when I come out there, we'll push a few buttons on that remote control and things will be working just fine. But we got to do it. Okay. Let me call you back when I can get a time and I'll set up a time for you. Okay. All right. All right, Dick. You have a great day. Thanks for calling. All right. Yep. You bet. Bye. Okay. And we usually have someone else working here that can take phone calls like that. But this guy is really super nice guy. Boy, that was tough. Hey Preston, what's happening? Uh, uh, right. Jack, you're funny. Oh man. Yeah, the guy that I was speaking with on the phone, just so y'all are aware, he's in his 90s, and he's not likely going to be using FaceTime. And I didn't want to go there with him because I didn't want the conversation to get that much longer. I've got a lot to do here, and we're short-handed, so I tried to help him. But that is a great idea, Mr. Spike Protein. Holy smokes, okay. And you know, we try and help people over the phone as best we can, but sometimes it's just not possible. Um, and I've gotten booked for a live performance this coming Friday or Saturday. Let me look at my calendar again. And I haven't even touched any of the music, but I'm working so much. Let's see, what is the 24th? Yeah, I'm booked Friday. So I got a gig. I got to play live on Friday. No, there won't be a live broadcast of that. Sorry, guys. I'd love to, but there's some legal issues with doing that with this band in particular. So it's kind of fun that you have to get to deal with that, but it'll be a fun gig. So if any of y'all happen to be in Baker City on Friday night and want to stop by Barley Brown's and have some of the best beer in the state of Oregon, stop in there. Yeah. So that'll be fun. I wish I could live stream it, but we could run into legal issues with this band because we do some original music. So not going to be able to go live. All right. Where were we on this thing? We were going to raise the tailpiece on this, and we've got set screws, so we got to loosen those nuts up and get my Allen keys out. Whoa, that was a close call. I damn near stuck a razor blade in my hand. Oh, shucks. Of course I don't have that Allen key. Oh, there we go. This is the right Allen key, I believe. Hex key, sorry, it's not an Allen key. Hex key. There we go. We're going to loosen these set screws that keep the, I think they are. There we go. Alright, so I'm going to loosen these up a little bit, and it's nice that they put these set screws right there where you can't, it makes it difficult to get an Allen key or a hex key into that. Really awesome of them to do that. They didn't think about the service on the guitar much because I guess they probably just figured it was perfect right out of the factory. I'm laughing with them. Alright, so we're going to raise this up until I can get a nice piece of paper under there, and then we'll stop. Okay, I could hear the pitch of the string dropping, so we'll see. We're still making contact right there. This is a bad idea right here on a Les Paul style guitar, or a guitar with a Tune-o-matic bridge on it. You will, you will break a string right there. Dang it. I just scratched the chrome on this guitar. Dag nabbit. Alright, there we go. Dang. We're going to find that sweet spot where... Dang. Wish that hadn't happened. I might be able to polish that out. There we go. Let's check this side. Might be time to get a bigger screwdriver. Hopefully my camera guys got you pointed in the right direction. We're going to raise this side up so we can get a piece of paper under. Still touching. There we go. Now, This is a subject of debate, because if you're one of those guys that tone wood doesn't matter on electric guitars, you're going to support this statement, but these don't need to be down touching the body of the guitar. It makes no effect on the sound of an electric guitar. Talk amongst yourselves about that statement, you knowledgeable guitar players, but you also have to provide proof of either your disagreement or your agreement with that. And there we go, we got a piece of paper under there. Now that we know that the string isn't making contact with the back edge of that saddle. Now, my proof is that if that string is touching the back edge of that saddle, eventually a string's going to break. Alright, so we've got that dialed. We're going to call that a day. And I'm going to try and polish that ding out of there after I'm done with all the work and setup on this thing. Dang, I wish that hadn't happened. The screwdriver slipped. It happens. The gentleman who owns this beautiful Schecter guitar plays in a band with the principal of my daughter's grade school. And it's pretty cool to get to see him once in a while. We go way back when the kids were playing basketball and I was coaching basketball teams at the school, and he's just a super cool guy, and really lucky to get to have a friend like that in my life. He's really a super neat guy. Yeah, we got a little scratch on that one, doggone it. Well, okay. All that for that. My goodness. Let's make sure my work is true. Yes, it is. All right. Let's check the intonation on this instrument. Actually, before I do that, the guitar's been sitting here for a while, so let's see if our neck relief is holding true and our string action is holding true. Lay this guitar back down. Man. Okay. We're going to see what happens here. Our neck relief. That's holding pretty darn true. And we've got pretty good low string action. And we are as low as we can go on the treble side of this guitar, and that's unfortunate. I could probably get him some lower action, but this is awful. We need to tune the guitar up again. Let's now we've had to loosen the strings. We brought this up, which shortened the length of the string, so we got to re-stretch them. Alright, Anybody have any questions on what I've been up to? Timothy, hello, brother. How you doing? 6 mil, Alan. I know. I joke about that. That's really funny. I honestly, you guys, I'm joking about that. It is technically Allen Keys, though it's a brand, but I love joking about that. It's kind of like black guitars. They're beautiful, and all of that. But you look at them and they get fingerprints on them. Not tying knots. I do not joke about that. You tie a knot in a guitar string, you're an idiot. And I am not mincing words on that one. That is dumb. Timothy, dude, tomorrow you'll get, if you're around tomorrow evening, I think I'm going to go live around 5 o'clock, and yes, I'll have camera and details on all of that stuff and show you how to use them. That thing, I recorded a new piece of music. Dang, I don't know if I have it. I don't know if I can play it for you. Maybe I already have, but I did it live with the expression pedal and turning overdrives and a phaser effect on and off. Flawless. It's like having a pedal board. So yes, that pedal is awesome, and thank you for asking me about that. Yeah, I know. I make the Freudian slip. I call them Allen keys too, you guys. I've done it live. It's funny. It's a joke, really. You can call them Paul tools, or Paul keys if you like, or Marshall keys, or Preston keys. Call them Preston keys from now on. Yeah. Okay. Who ties knots in guitar strings and where? My knees hurt, yes, around the tuning pegs. Dude, it's shocking how dumb that is. I have no idea who is telling people to do this, but they need to be stopped immediately. I'll show you how you put a guitar string on a machine head, and oh, look at that. I got my cable tied in a knot here. I'm gonna have to untie a knot so that I've got a little more room. Let's see if I can do this. Oh yeah, there we go. All right, sorry guys. The camera guy's been drinking again. He tied my cable in a knot. Okay, this is how you wind strings on, and I'll show you the large or the bass E string. This is how you put a string on a machine head. Right there. There's no two ways about it. There's no other better way to do it than that. 2 wraps over the top of your windings. When you're done setting up your guitar, cut the string off as close to the machine head as you can. On the unwound strings, you do 3 wraps and then tune the string to pitch and push the string over the top of your windings. There is no better way. There are worse ways to do it, but there are no better ways that will hold tune as good as the way I've done it right there. And I will put my mother's good name on that. What happens is if you run this, I don't know, I'm not even going to show you what people do, because that would be foolish. I would be showing you a bad way to do something. So yeah, hopefully that makes sense. Yeah. There is no better way, and there's no faster way to put a guitar on a guitar, or a guitar string on a guitar. If you're a gigging musician, man, and you break a string at a gig, thank me later. But if you go to a gig with your guitar strung up like this versus tying it in a knot or wrapping it under the strings and bending it over the top, change that string at a gig with no tools, because I know you aren't taking tools with you to a gig. No, what guitar player takes a tool with them to a gig aside from a keychain? So yeah, Timothy, absolutely right. that string will be kind of flopping in the breeze there, but where it bends around that corner to go, or bends around to go through the hole, that kink right there, it will never come loose. It will not. It has never, ever, 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 ever failed on me. And I've been putting on strings on guitar since I was about 9 years old. Do the math. It has never failed. And when I break a string, I can yank that thing off of that guitar and it comes off in a matter of seconds. I'm not sitting there trying to unbend a little piece of string with my fingers, poking a finger with the string at a gig. And I put strings on literally every guitar player in my music community. I'm the guy who strings up most of their guitars. And ask me how many complaints I've had because a guitar string came unwound or a guitar wouldn't hold tune. That answer is zero. Zero. And I've been doing it full time here for about 10 years. So, yeah. Well, you're a smart man. A lot of guitar players don't, man. They'll bring an extra 9-volt battery or something like that. So, so this instrument, we were I just wondered, and it's kind of cool the conversation that's happening here. And forgive me for being so assertive, but putting strings on any differently than that, you're absolutely, utterly wasting your time. And the time of your audience who has to wait for you to change a string when you break one at a gig. Thank you, Mike. So there you go. That's my I've preached that from day one on my channel. I think my channel might have hit 10 years old today too. That's or this month. Okay, so we're gonna go ahead and check the intonation of this instrument. The one last thing I got to do, and I will take a little bit of polish to that little scratch. We'll see if we can make that vanish. All right, so we're going to get you pointed in the right direction. And let's see where the intonation is on this thing. Is this it's factory intonation, but I think we've changed the string gauge. So if the intonation is really good, we'll know that it wasn't really good the day it was sold, because I'm guessing this guitar probably came loaded with 9-gauge strings, or I'm sorry, 10-gauge strings, and we now have 9s on it, which was the big reason that my client brought this in. And John, my compliments, dude. You keep one hell of a tidy guitar, bro, and I love that. Let's see. Hopefully you can see the yeah. All right. Wow. So we changed string gauge, and now the intonation is nearly perfect. Man, I'm hoping some of these are off. I'm really hoping. So A string is a bit flat, so that's a good sign that maybe they sold him an instrument that was sort of intonated. We're going to move the saddle this direction, shorten the string between the saddle and the 12th fret, which will bring the pitch up. Let's see. Perfect. Move that one. The intonation on this works really nicely. D string is dead on. Isn't this fun? So the G string is very flat. Hey man.
Yeah. They wiped me out at the bank, so it'll be.
Oh.
I had to have some money wired to me. It'll be in here tomorrow.
That's
So
no
I'll
problem.
just leave everything here and
That's
it'll be fine.
just take your guitar with you and come back tomorrow. I know
Okay.
where you live.
All right. The way Ernest Hemingway, if you want to know a man that's trustworthy, trust him.
There you go.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Just
but
go home and play
yeah.
that thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, don't worry about that.
I'm not going to worry about it.
Okay,
But I get frustrated with it because
I understand.
we deal with this stuff. That's why. Yeah.
Yeah.
I always have somebody, a backup where I can, thank God, because
Yeah,
people
that's-
love me and they trust me. And I say, give me that, and they do it. So that's good.
Well, we're not talking about a big, huge sum of money.
No.
So
Well, for some
don't
people,
even.
it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter.
Well, I'm just glad I got to work on that beautiful thing. That was a good experience.
Yeah.
I learned something.
Always.
Always.
Stay open.
Yeah.
Keep it open.
Yeah.
Keep it singing a little light. Yeah.
Yeah. Just whenever you can get back in and
Yeah.
and take care of
Well,
that.
I'll just let me leave it here just for yuck's sake. I don't. Yeah.
If you would feel better about that, that's fine.
Yeah, I would.
Okay.
Just yeah.
That's fair enough. Fair enough. Okay.
So-
I don't mind you taking it home. Mike won't
Yeah.
care, but that's up to you. Okay.
Yeah.
It's no big deal. I hope things. Well, one of these days, you just, type in one with a bunch of zeros after, and it all comes out of the ATM machine.
Yeah,
you
that
know?
would be nice. But everything's changing anyway.
Yeah.
That's part of the deal. So there's what I would call an ambient anxiety that's going around, and so and it's definitely this whole system is very manipulated, as you well know. So
The money we
Anyway,
have is
I-
fake anyway.
What's that?
There isn't enough gold on planet to add up to the value that the 1% of our country owns,
right.
the wealth that they say they own.
Oh,
That's
yeah.
a joke. It's a total joke.
No, it's like
We
20
can talk
20
about
Yeah, 25 people own 3/4 of
Mhm.
everything.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Not 25,000 or 25 million.
No, 25.
25 people. Right.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and everything you do,
Yep.
they make money on.
Yep.
Everything that you spend, everything that you buy, everything that you sell, they make money on it.
Yeah, and I had a funny experience the other day. I go to the little Chevron shop
Yeah.
store down here and buy a Diet Pepsi or
Yeah.
whatever, pick up something once in a while, all the time. I go in there right there. And I've always joked with them because people pay me with $100 bills all
Right.
the time, so I've always got one of
Yeah.
those on me.
Right.
And I walked in to buy some iced tea and a Diet Pepsi and maybe some Skittles or something.
Right.
And I handed him $100. All I had on me was a $100 bill,
Right.
and I handed it to him. And I've joked with him for years. I hand him $100. I just pulled it out of the dryer this morning. I hope
Right.
it's a good one. I've been joking with him and
Right.
joking with him all this time. Well, they've never once run it through any machine to check it.
Right.
Right? Yesterday
They did.
they did, and it
Was
didn't.
dirty.
It said it wouldn't accept it as a real $100 bill.
Oh, okay. Oh, so
The guy
then you just had the experience then,
right.
just now. Yeah. It's like,
Precisely.
Right.
Yeah.
yeah.
I was like, you got to be kidding me.
Yeah. Exactly. It's like
Like, you believe that I printed that? You think that I would hand you a fake $100 bill?
right. How did it
Like,
work out?
So I just set my soda pop down, set the tea down, set the Skittles down, and walk out the door. If they are not going to take my money, they don't get it.
Wow.
That was my policy. I don't shop at Walmart either.
Right.
You'll never see me inside one of those shops. So, you know, I stick to my guns when it comes to that sort of stuff. But if you're not going to take a $100 bill from me,
Right.
you know,
Right.
I
you
don't
said.
have a little machine that I can run it through to tell me if it's a real one. So if somebody gave me a fake one, that's my bad.
Right.
I guess I own it. But
And they're none of them any good anyway. That's the other part. It's like,
Right.
it's all
it's
bullshit.
not worth the paper
Yeah.
it's printed on.
Yeah, it's silly.
Yeah. So anyway,
silly.
that was a fun
Yeah. Okay.
conspiracy
Yeah. Right.
I had to deal with. I was like,
Cool. Yeah, these are good. I have one of those. So okay, I'll see you tomorrow,
okay.
and
All right.
we'll do the whole thing.
All right. Stefan,
Yeah.
good to see you.
Thanks.
All right. We'll see you tomorrow.
Here, I'll bring the guitar in and put it up.
Okay. So we're still a little bit flat on the G string. So we're gonna sharpen her up, shorten the saddle to the 12th fret. I'm gonna move it quite a ways because it was pretty flat. Oh, that was still sitting. Just set it down right there in front of that other case, and I'll move it back there. I've got to go back. Today is my organization day back there for sure.
Yeah.
It'll be fine.
How's that bass instructor working out?
Earl's doing just fine.
Okay.
He's in Europe right now.
Okay. Oh,
In
cool.
fact, yeah. No.
So that wasn't that portly gentleman. That was who was in here. Anyway, it was somebody else. He's not the bass guy. He didn't look like a professor.
Earl doesn't. You guys look a lot alike, to be honest. He's kind of a hippie looking, long, kind of. Yeah, that's him. If that's who you're talking about.
I guess so.
He's a super handsome dude.
Is he?
Yeah. No.
Okay. Well, then that's me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Fantastic
You sure
bass
it's
player
not
too.
me? Like bilocating. Don't say that. Sell. Oh no, don't say that. Okay, I'll see you soon. I'll see you
Okay.
in the morning.
Okay, sounds good.
Yeah.
We're here at 11.
Yeah.
Okay.
Cool.
Now we're a little bit flat, so we're going to tighten her up a little bit more. Sharpen her up a little bit more. I'd rather be flat than sharp. Which these saddles are looking awful strange here. I'm going to call that good. No, I'm not. I am going to sharpen that string ever so slightly more. This is where a really well set up guitar versus one that's sort of halfway set up nice, this is where it counts. Intonation. This is where a guitar really starts to sound good when you're playing chords. Yeah, there we go. And I generally take a pretty good amount of time. So we're flat. I generally take a pretty good amount of time to set the intonation on an instrument like this. A little bit flat, so we'll sharpen it. We're moving the saddle towards the 12th fret, making it closer, which will sharpen the pitch of that note. We're going to call that a day. That E string, come on, baby. We're a little bit flat, so we're going to sharpen that up just a bit. Boy, we don't have a lot of room to move this one, but I think I've got enough that we'll get her there. There we go. it's intonated very nicely. Yeah. All right. So hopefully everybody's still having a really great Tuesday. All right. So our next move on this instrument is our first fret action. The last thing I'm going to do before I send this thing home, and you know, it's possible. It's possible that the guy who owns this guitar is watching this right now. I haven't played that song since I was 18. Right? Good grief. I was just using the piezo to see if it sounded like an acoustic guitar. Good grief. Okay. First fret action. Let's see what's happening with this, because I can tell it's high, like my cameraman. Right? It's high like my cameraman. So the last thing I do after all the other special stuff so the low E string and the treble. So we got a little room to move on almost all of them, but we'll make it right. There we go. We're gonna make this right. 42, where are you? 42, there you are. I'll have a 42. This is a 42. So we'll pull this out of here. I'm gonna loosen that a little bit. Get that string out of there. And we're gonna go ahead. right? Boy. Oh, where's my gauge? 32, where's my 32? Where's my 32? There's my, that will work. Be really careful if you're doing this not to gouge up the headstock of the guitar. We're just knocking like thousandths of an inch off of these, but that makes all the difference in the world. It's amazing when your first fret action is high how bad your intonation on your whole instrument is. Makes for a very untuned guitar. I'm going to leave that G string alone. I can take that B string down just a bit. That's an 11. Just a tiny little touch right there. I want it to raise the note, so da-na. I want to hear it. Da. I hear that pitch. Boy, almost went too far. Whew, I almost went too far, guys. That's a dumb mistake right there. If you go too far on a nut, man, that's bad news. And these smaller gauge strings, man, when you make a slice in these nuts, especially plastic nuts like this is plastic, it's not bone, unfortunately. Boy, you can go quickly and go too far quickly and cause a whole lot of extra work. I'm just gonna sneak up on this one. Very small moves until I get the sneak up on it. Tiny little moves here. One more, I think I'm there. Tiny moves. There we go. Now it's perfectly in tune. Doesn't that sound good? Yep. All right, so I think we're about set up with this beautiful instrument. Look at that wood on that thing. Isn't that gorgeous? Looks fantastic. A laminated decal of some maple, which is super cool. Got a new coat. Guess who poked a hole in it immediately? Brand new coat. Fucking expensive thing too. Guess who poked a hole in it immediately? Fred. You heard me right. Okay. Let's see. This thing should be perfectly in tune. Oh yeah. Oh yeah, that's awesome. Stretch them out a little bit. You can't just jump on a horse and expect it to gallop. Damn, this thing feels really nice to play. It feels really great. I will say that the piezo pickup is louder than the humbuckers. output out of that piezo. It's not much, it's a very small amount, but that's kind of the risk you take in buying a piezo pickup. It sounds really nice. I really like the way the piezo sounds. Definitely has an acoustic, air about it, if you will. Smells acoustic, right? Well, the Schecter, ready to go home. I got a little bit of polishing to do on it. I did have a little boo-boo today, but we'll make it work. The guitar plays great, feels great. Tiger maple, is that what you call it? I call this flame maple. Axiom, hello. Axiom, bless you for doing that. The Walton family needs to be put out of business. They sell shit. Nothing you can buy in there is worth buying, period. We can go on about that for days, dude. All right. The jerk from Burke. That's awesome. Yeah, I know I've been very adamant about how I put strings on my channel, but it's my channel and I am right. So much as I hate to tell anybody that does it differently than I do, you're wrong. 40 plus years that's proof. So there you go. You guys, I think I'm going to head out. I've got students arriving here very soon. And I've got to get some cleanup work done. So you all, thanks for joining me. Thanks for hanging with me today. I hope you all have a wonderful Tuesday night. I'll be here until a little after 7 tonight. This is a good long full day for me today. And I don't know when I'm going to get off of the 7 days a week work schedule, but I'm hoping soon. Hopefully the health of my coworker improves quickly. We're all very hopeful of that. I would love a day off. Yeah. Hey, thanks, Zach. Thanks for hanging, you guys. Hey, peace.